I'm Christina. Today on CYInterview, we welcome back Ellis Island Casino, Hotel, and Breweries Vice President of Development, Christina Ellis. For over 50 years, her family's resort has been serving customers in Las Vegas. Christina, it's always so great to have you on CYInterview. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you? Thanks for having me back.
Always happy to have you. We're doing very well. And also joining us today is CYInterview sponsor, the founder of Epic Financial Strategies, LLC, Mr. Rob Gill. Rob, thanks as always for joining us today on CYInterview. How are you?
I'm doing great, Chris. Thank you for allowing me to be part of it.
Oh, absolutely. We're happy to have you. So, Christina, just to begin, can you just give a little bit of background of your family's history, Ellis Island, this resort that's 1 mile east of the Las Vegas Strip, and an overview of it?
Totally. So we're located on Koval and Flamingo, right behind the Horseshoe, right behind Planet Hollywood. We've been in our current location for over 55 years now, and it's a family business through and through. We are a place that has been a locals hangout for forever and ever. And in the past, 5 to 10 years, we've really opened the doors and have a lot more non-local business coming through the place than ever before. Some of our highlights are we're very well known for our karaoke lounge. We have an incredible $9.99 steak special that is a really good old Vegas value, and our beer garden in the front yard.
And let's not forget the $5 blackjack, some of the lowest stakes in Las Vegas anywhere. You're not going to find $5 blackjack, most likely, on the Las Vegas Strip. Maybe at off hours, maybe you'll be fortunate, but it's not a common thing. But 24 hours a day, there's $5 blackjack at Ellis Island, correct, Christina?
That is correct. Yeah, we are old school Vegas.
So moving forward on that, speaking of you saying other people coming in from out of town, do you think it's because of the price increases over the last couple of years? Why do you think more people, aside from locals, are coming to Ellis Island these days?
I believe that more people are doing research before traveling than ever before. Of course, with access to things like Yelp, endless reviews online, even social media, people are just have all of the information in the world at their fingertips to find out where they want to go before traveling to Vegas. And we also have the advocates of industry workers at other properties that recommend us to other people. While you're sitting at your hotel lobby bar on the Strip talking with your bartender, they'll recommend, if you want to go somewhere where we like to go, you should go just off the Strip to Ellis Island. Or if you're looking for a great deal for dinner, you should go just off the Strip to Ellis Island. And we hear those stories constantly, especially from Uber, Lyft, and taxi drivers, from bartenders on the Strip. So they've really become our advocates. And, we know when you come to Vegas, you're coming to town, you're going to do the things on the Strip. You want to see a show, you want to go to the nice dinners, but then we provide that off the Strip experience when you want to see, a locals joint and you want to bet at a $5 table, you want to experience those more value oriented price points. Our proximity to the Strip really assists us with that, with getting that customer. And we're able to provide the value.
So many questions, but just one before we throw it to Rob. Talk about what it's like to be part of a family-owned business. Many of these resorts, of course, are owned by big corporations. Tell me about the longevity and what has kept you guys going for more than 50 years, you think?
Being a small business in an industry with a lot of larger businesses, we are very quick to adapt. So at a lot of properties, it takes a lot of approvals to get new initiatives approved. Very helpful that we're a small team, lots of or not a lot of barriers to entry when we want to roll out new initiatives. So that just helps us as being a small business, but being a family-run business. I'm one of 3 sisters, so we all work in the business day to day. Our dad's still very, very involved day to day, and it's the only experience I know, but it is a very unique experience, and one that sitting here and talking about the history and story of Ellis Island is like talking about the history and story of my family. So, I think that if my grandfather passed away a couple years ago, but if he was here today to see what my dad was able to turn his little bar into, and he of course saw Ellis Island up until a couple years ago, but I think that he'd be very proud, and my dad's been able to just really take the business and run with it. So we're all excited to be there.
Rob, as someone who is a business owner, what does longevity mean to you? And speak about how your upcoming book, Surviving Success, relates to that.
Well, thank you, Chris. And if Christina, if you don't mind me asking, because it's abnormal for family businesses to last as long as yours has. That's not a normal thing. typically the second generation could tear down what was created in, I would say, 20 or 30 years in like 2 or 3 hours, right? So my question is, tell me about the upbringing. I'd love to hear more about messaging early on that allowed for the business to take that next generation step, even with your dad still involved. But, the 3 sisters being involved sounds pretty incredible. I have one shining example here in New Jersey with a trucking company that are clients of mine, where the 3 daughters were the daughter of the dad that owned the business, and the husbands worked at the company, but it was the 3 daughters that were instrumental. And they, that was a company that got bought out for multiple 9 figures. And, it was around for 40 years. Can you talk about, at least for my edification, the messaging and the deliverance of the family business to keep it going?
Absolutely. So our situation is a little bit unique. With my grandfather started the business in 1968. At the time, it was a strip mall, and he was in the real estate business. There was a plot that was zoned to be a bar, and he couldn't find anybody to take the real estate. And so he thought, okay, how hard can it be to run a bar? And so he did that for about 20 years. And then he wanted to leave the business with my dad. My dad and his siblings grew up in the business. He wanted to sell and get into another industry. And my dad said, do not sell this to me. I'm going to do this. I'm going to get my gaming license. I'm going to turn this into a casino. He had the vision for what he wanted it to be. So they structured a deal, and my dad took over in the mid 80s and then slowly started expanding the property. So that what was once a bar turned into the casino floor, turned into our restaurants, turned into the acquisition of our 300-room hotel, the front yard, and the property just started to snowball from there. Yeah. And then with my sisters and I getting involved, it was something we were involved in early on. I mean, conversations around the dinner table from a very young age were about business, Las Vegas, the casino industry. Yeah. And so I started there at 12 years old as a hostess with a mouthful of braces. And then we would just come back every year and work there as a summer job in between school. And as we got into college, we're working more specialized jobs. And then when we each graduated from college, I'm the oldest, but when we each graduated from college, we decided to come back and start working in a different department, and then just began growing with the company.
Yeah, and Chris talked about a book I got coming out called Surviving Success, and it's just that, like, when we get financial success, some folks can handle it on that first wave, but some can't. And it really, I'm hearing my level 5 is telling me that those dinner table conversations and the value of money and understanding the relationship with money seems to have been something that was not only instilled with your dad from your granddad, but also down to you guys. So, yeah, amazing. Thank you for that access, Chris.
Oh, no problem, Rob. Just the reality of what it comes down to is it's an inspiring story, because you've got all these resorts in Las Vegas that are run by these big corporations. And then you've got 1 mile east of the Strip, you've got a casino, multiple restaurants, a bar, and a lot of other fun, entertaining things at a place where it's right there. It's all right there. If you want the low stakes, if you want to just bet $5 to have fun, I have a $100 gambling budget. Well, go to Ellis Island, they'll give you 25s, and you can bet 5 a hand at blackjack, and you'll be there for a little while, and you'll have your entertainment. You know what I'm saying? So that's what they offer, as opposed to $25 minimums.
And Chris, how did you guys get connected? Because I find it amazing of all the different guests that you have.
Well, we're plugged in here in Las Vegas, and that's basically what it is. You know what's so funny? So the next time you come to town, Rob, we're going to have to hook up together, and maybe Christina can show us around Ellis Island, and you guys can all get together. It'd be great.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Yeah, me too. Awesome.
Okay, so let me ask you, Christina. So this is what I'm going to ask you. The topic, one of the biggest topics in America, is inflation. How have you guys been able to keep the steak at $9.95, the blackjack at $5? Like, what have you guys figured out? Is it just there's been more volume in recent years, and you guys have been following that?
It's a great question.
Of course, inflation has happened, prices have gone up. And so we've been able to keep things like we see the value in the steak special, the $5 blackjack. That's really marketing for us, right? We joke that it's our Mirage Volcano, the steak special, because it gets people in the door. It's marketing for us. It's something that's easy to talk about, easy to explain. And really, like, when you hear $9.99 steak, you might be a little skeptical, but it's a top sirloin steak. It's a great deal. So you get the value. It's not just, you're not going for it just because of the price point. It's because it is a really great meal. And so it gets people in the door, and, we're in the business of gaming. And so having people in the door, the more volume, the more money's coming in through the casino. And so it's our goal to, we want to keep the restaurants sustainable, keep the restaurants running, and keep the restaurants at a value. But we're in the business of value as well. So we want to get those people inside the casino.
Well, also at the Village Pub Cafe, I have to say that they are the best fish and chips in town I've ever had, for the record.
Really great. And so many of the things on the menu are family recipes, which is awesome. All the sauces, all the spice mixes and things are things that have been, personally crafted by either long-term team members or by my dad and family. So
Rob, ask as many as you want. Go ahead, sure.
And Christine, obviously, you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but I would suspect, are you guys always, is the bigger fish always knocking on the door to see if they could take you guys over or merge with you in any way, shape, or form? Is that a constant that happens based on what you guys have put together, or is that something that you're far off and they don't really care?
Of course, those opportunities have come about. We actually are in the process of gearing up to start our own expansion. The goal right now is to keep it family and keep it in the family, and so that's our goal for now.
So when it comes to marketing, right? Whether it's the Uber driver, whether it's Yelp, do you guys spend a lot of time at really analyzing the data to find out how people come to your place, and then how to figure out ways to get more people to come? Is that something you guys dig deep into, or is that just, something that, the bartender at the other place told us to come here? Like, do you actually measure that stuff?
So as far as word of mouth marketing, that is obviously quite difficult to measure. We do keep really good eyes on all of our comments that come in and reviews, which will often mention, we heard about this place from our Uber driver. We heard about this place from X, Y, and Z location. But it is really astounding the amount of information that comes out of the casino system. So through our just player database, as far as, analytics on location, age information, all of that. So that's great. And we have a really good player development team who is having calling up on the phones every day, getting new people in the door, calling people who were first-time visitors, welcoming them back. So they get a lot of that, what I would call like soft data, where we're hearing like, okay, at this timeshare, they're recommending us pretty consistently. At this place across the street, so we get that information, and through there can identify opportunities where it's, do we reach out to them and put more flyers in the lobby? Do we do some kind of collaboration where they're bringing people over for a beer class and things of that nature?
Amazing. And from a logical or reasonable standpoint, what does it look like for you if you could have it your way in the next 5 years?
You mean with the whole thing, with the whole property? I think the next 5 years are going to be especially exciting. I think that Las Vegas is changing a lot. Las Vegas as a city reinvents itself constantly, but I think with all of the sports coming into town, things really booming back up post-COVID, convention season, event seasons, et cetera, there's huge opportunity for us. Like I kind of teased earlier, we're gearing up for a little bit of expansion on the property. So I think that expansion is really the name of the game. Expansion in programming, expansion in the types of games we're bringing in, and listening to customers. Sports being huge. So I think there's a lot of opportunity over the next 5 years.
Chris, back to you, brother.
And Rob, there's also one emphasis here, which is unbelievable. So this is probably the most affordable and nice place to stay right here, the Las Vegas Strip. How many hotel rooms do you have, like Christine, over 200 about, right? 300
rooms, yes.
Oh, now
do you have a presidential suite?
We have multiple suites. They're gorgeous. We even have an Elvis themed suite.
Okay. All right. So people say I look like Elvis.
We got the room for you.
Did you know that Elvis's birthday was just a few days ago, Rob? So happy birthday.
I know.
To you.
We celebrated. Yes. Yep.
That was great. So Christina, also Rob, what's really interesting is that Ellis Island got to be partnered with Formula One Racing when they did the race on the Las Vegas Strip here back in November. So tell me about that, Christina. What that was like to partner with Formula One Racing.
Yeah, so we were an official venue of the Las Vegas circuit. So with that, we had the live feed of the race coming into the property and a little bit of our setup. We took the whole front of our hotel, which is a parking lot day to day, and we added about, I think it was about 1,200 grandstand seats with an unmatched view of turn 4 of the track. So we branded all of our activations turn 4 at Ellis Island, and tickets were inclusive of food. We had some great venues. We had some amazing partners come in for liquor sponsorships and things of that nature with fun activations. And then inside the front yard, we had another viewing experience, which included beer and food and another great place to watch the game, the race, especially because we had the live feed coming to the property. And it was really incredible vibe, incredible energy, and it was a lot of fun. It was amazing day to day, for the weeks leading up to the race, driving into work, to see the area completely transform and to see our property transform. It was an incredibly proud moment for us to see our team all come together, so excited, not a call out. Everybody was buzzing with the excitement of the race, and we ended up completely selling out for the big race day. So that was awesome.
Amazing.
You're working with the big leagues there, and it's well deserved, obviously.
That is the big leagues.
So last thing, of course, all of us in Las Vegas are looking forward to the Super Bowl next month, obviously, on February 11th. I think all of us 5 years ago could not believe that that's happening, but the biggest sporting event is happening here in Las Vegas next month. What does Ellis Island have planned, Christina?
So it should be a really great weekend at Ellis Island. Like I mentioned, our beer garden, what a better place to spend Super Bowl weekend than in a local beer garden drinking local beer. So leading up to the events, we'll have different tailgate opportunities, brunch opportunities, just different reasons to come to property and spend some time while you're in town, or as a local being off the strip, we're easy to get to, easy to access. So, not dealing with any of the Super Bowl traffic on top of that. For game day Sunday, we have viewing parties on site. We'll have something inside the front yard. That'll be food and beverage inclusive with an open bar. Come early, watch the games, and then just hang. It's a really great time. It's one of my favorite events that we throw every year.
We'll have to stop by this year to do some coverage for sure, Christina, and say hi.
Oh,
Can't
please
wait for
do.
next. We are so excited. Rob, questions? Go ahead.
I don't have any questions. I can't wait to come check it out when I come out there next time. Really,
we got to put it in your schedule, Rob. We'll get you Christina. Yeah, you're gonna love it when you see it. It's incredible. I mean, when they put the front yard in the front a couple of years ago, it just added to the whole experience. There, it really did. It was already a great place, but when they put the front yard in, it's so cool. Like how the presence that it added to the thing. Tell me about that, Christina. Like when you guys finished that, how proud were you?
So proud. I mean, we traded 15 parking spots for space for close to 400 people. So it was a really great exchange.
Good economics right there.
Yeah. And the venue itself is beautiful. It's one of the first projects that I was really a part of, from inception to picking fabrics to seeing it all come together and now working on programming in there. So it's a very malleable space. We do everything from Christmas movie nights to country dance parties to full buyouts for CES this week. We have a couple, full buyouts of the venue. So it's just a really great space and gave us the opportunity to do a lot of the things that we didn't have space for inside the casino floor. So it's awesome. It's a great addition to the property.
One thing I'm wondering in these recent years with the conventions coming back and CES and all those kinds of things, like what do you see from like the major conventions as far as like what they want to do with you, and how early do they get in touch with you to plan those events?
It really varies. For we're in our proximity, I feel we get a lot of people who are early on. They'll find us. They'll get the packages and everything locked up if they have a large group, or anything from a group of 20 to a group of 350 is really what we're accommodating. And a lot of people will be coming to us because they went and saw the strip pricing and they got sticker shock. And so the same value that we provide with our table games and our food and beverage, we provide with our events and our event pricing as well.
Rob, final questions?
No, listen, I'm really intrigued by the family customized strategy. The customized hotel and everything that they've put together, I think is pretty cool. And the fact that it's been 50 years is incredible, especially in Vegas, right? None of that is easy, and standing the test of time and $9 steaks is just insane, by the way. And to your point, Christina, they're all really good steaks too. It's not just like some steakums or anything like that. So, which I think
you also get, I believe, mashed potatoes and green beans on the side. Am I right about that, Christina?
That's what I'll eat that every day.
So it's the best deal in town.
You get a Caesar salad too. Wow, Caesar salad, that's incredible. Yeah, I mean, it's the best deal in town.
Salad. But yeah, but I'm good. I can't wait to come out there and check it out. No doubt. Very interested to see what that looks like.
Finally, Christina, what have you been most excited about in Las Vegas over the last, 5 years? I mean, we have the Raiders now, we've got the Aces, we've got the Golden Knights, we've got the Super Bowl coming, Formula One racing. Could you have imagined this 5 years ago? When I moved here 5 years ago, I imagined that these things could happen, but the amount of how quickly all this stuff has happened, the sphere, it's incredible.
Jay Bilstein knew. Jay Bilstein knew it was coming.
My partner, Christina Ellis,
knew. He told me 10 years ago.
Yep, it's incredible. Christina, thoughts?
Yeah, I always think about my mom's dad. My grandpa on my mom's side is 95 years old, and he is still working 2 days a week as a pit boss at Ellis Island. And he moved to town in 1953. And I would love to be able to see through his eyes what he thinks when he drives home every night, because just the way that the town has changed is absolutely amazing. Personally, I mean, the Raiders being here is awesome, but my favorite thing is probably the Sphere. I think the Sphere is the coolest thing, and I think it's just getting started with
it's the future of entertainment.
Inside and outside.
The future of entertainment from James Dolan of the New York Knicks. You know what I'm saying? It's just
and they're our new neighbor, so they're located right on Koval as well. We have such great views of it from different parts of our property. So I love being in a meeting, looking up and getting to see what the Sphere has going on each day.
Oh, I agree with you hands down. And the last thing I'm going to say, Christina, is that he saw the Howard Hughes era. I mean, can you believe that when you really think about that? That was just after the Bugsy Siegel era and during the Howard Hughes era, when Howard Hughes bought the Silver Slipper and the Frontier and the Desert Inn and all those places.
I saw Marilyn Monroe up in there too.
Yeah. All right. So we'll leave it there. So for Vice President of Development at Ellis Island, Christina Ellis, and CYInterview sponsor Rob Gill, thank you both for being on CYInterview today.
Honored.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching today's CYInterview segment from Las Vegas. Please hit the like button and please hit the subscribe button to be updated on all future CYInterview content from Las Vegas and beyond.